In 2,000 years, China never invaded Japan. Not once. It's time for Japan and China to say, we're together on this. We don't need American military bases. China's not going to invade Japan, period. There's just no threat.
Do you think China is a threat to the world or to nearby countries like Japan? A Japanese ambassador once asked Professor Jeffrey Sachs the same question, questioning whether the democratic world can trust an autocratic China. Here's what he had to say. Watch.
What I said there, and I'll say again, Mr. Ambassador, is that Japan and China and Korea should increase the diplomacy and not be divided by the United States in this. And I pointed out something, if I may, with all respect. In 2,000 years, China never invaded Japan. Not once. 2 footnotes. In 1274 and 1281, the Mongols, when they were in control of China, tried to invade Japan. And the kamikaze wind both times defeated the Mongol fleet. But other than that, China never invaded Japan, never even tried to invade Japan. Japan, unfortunately, tried to invade China a few times. The first time, apparently, was 1592, when Hideyoshi, the regent of the time, went mad and decided to take over the world, starting with an invasion of Korea that was a prelude to invading China. He failed, as you know, and died in 1598. And then Japan invaded China several times, starting from 1894 up through World War II. And there's a very poignant book, actually, by a great colleague of mine and a teacher, Ezra Vogel, whom you must have known. Ezra Vogel was a great scholar of both China and Japan. He died a few years ago, but his last book was called China and Japan Facing History. And he said, I love both countries, but they don't get along that well. So I want to write the history of the relations of the two countries. And the relations are the following. As two Confucian civilizations, they were at peace for most of 2 millennia. Amazing. Think of Britain and France. They were at war for most of 2 millennia. Literally, every year for hundreds of years sometimes. But China and Japan, no. The monks would come, they would bring back calligraphy, they would do all sorts of things, but they weren't at war. Other than the examples that I just gave. And from 1368 until 1839, there was no war between China and Japan. That's from the beginning of the Ming Dynasty to the arrival of the British in the Pearl River in the First Opium War. No war other than Mr. Hideyoshi going mad in a brief escapade. Other than that, no war. It's sometimes called the Confucian Peace because there was a system, but it was basically a peaceful system of trade, some tribute, which was symbolic, but completely peaceful. Then came the British, then came war, then came Japan's astoundingly successful economic development, starting with the Meiji Restoration, which started in 1868. And Japan did something completely brilliant, which was in 1871, it sent a mission of leading ministers around the world, because you couldn't Zoom then, And so they went around the world for 18 months called the Iwakura mission, and they studied who does the best of everything. And they came back and they peacefully implemented all of that. Who made the best central bank? Who has the best constitution? Who has the best universities? Who has the best of each? The best army, and so on. And they took all the models and adopted them remarkably, with one little rebellion, the Satsuma Rebellion in 1877. Other than that, peace. It was the most successful transformation, and Japan industrialized. But here's my point. Upon industrializing, Japan attacked China in 1894. And two of the leading diplomats, Chinese and Japanese, met each other. And Ezra Vogel tells this story in the book. And the Chinese diplomat is crestfallen. Why did you attack us? We're Asian. We're being invaded by the Europeans. Why did you attack us? And the Japanese diplomat says, I'm sorry, but we've joined their club. That's literally the quotation. Japan industrialized. And so it joined the imperial club for a while. Now, we're in 2025. It's time for Japan and China to say, we're together on this. We don't need American military bases. We don't need to be divided by outsiders. There's no reason. There's no threat. China's not going to invade Japan, period. There's just no threat. And my view is, just a little secret for all of you, if you all get together, you absolutely will dominate the world economy. There won't even be a comparison. If you put together Japanese skill, Korean skill, Chinese skill, ASEAN skill, oh my God, no one could possibly compete. It would be a little nasty for the rest of us. But truly, why are you divided anymore?
Yeah.
So this to my mind is the real suggestion. And to put it to a test, diplomacy is the key. And diplomacy means talking. And I would like Japan's foreign minister to say to Wang Yi, look, you're big, you're 10 times larger than we are. How can we be safe? And I'd like to hear Wang Yi's answer to that, because that would be a very good question to ask. And I would like the Europeans to go to Mr. Putin and say, look, we feel endangered. How can you make us feel better that you're not going to invade some other country after Ukraine? And I'd like to hear the answer to that, because it's a valid question. I'm not worried about it, by the way, for 100 reasons, but it's a fair question to ask. What's not right is to stand at the sidelines saying, you're an enemy. We build up our military. We do this, without even trying the diplomatic approach. Diplomacy requires a table and 2 chairs. The military requires $1 trillion a year. Which do you think is the better deal?